vibrations, sweet babies. Oh my goodness. And let me just really set the tone for us for this oracle reading. I am Hannah, aka Bunny on the Internet Spaces. I am a professional model. I am a empowerment through expression life coach. Okay, the cat just decided to be right on top of me and the microphone here. So if you hear some cat noises, that's exactly what it is. It's cat noises. I do feel like some feline energy might be at play here. Yes, so I also like to tap into my intuitive, mystical woo-woo side by coming on here and pulling oracle cards. And I do want to give you a heads up that I will be doing these readings on here for a while. I'm still planning to pull cards and share readings, forecasts for the portals with you and all that kind of stuff. However, I do have some plans to create a more in-depth space where you can access readings, practices, programs, and all kinds of groovy stuff. With that being said, we just walked through a 5-5 portal. Did you walk through consciously or unconsciously? There might have been some high emotions. There might have been some intensities going on. This was a portal for some divine change. Divine change. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is going to change some of the dynamics in your relationships. And I think this is really a change that, I mean, as always with the portal, if we're really living for our highest and greatest good, if we're following a good path, or we're following a divine led path, this is a really powerful portal that is always working in your favor and in your purpose, right? So with that being said, setting the tone a little bit further for you, it is like a really nice ooey gooey gray, rainy, dark day, and I'm loving it. It feels like a little cozy womb after a portal, after like what we walked through. Maybe as a collective, the full moon was like chill. I think for some people it probably brought up some like just new feelings, gratitude, appreciation, or just being in tune with your emotions a little bit for some people. But I do see this also being a time where people were feeling a little bit more like direction focus, like where they want to go, what they want to be doing, what they want to really see flourish. So I feel like there wasn't a lot of like intense change or anything really attached to that. I think that is ensuing with this 5-5 portal. It might have already ensued for you, or it could be sort of playing out. And I feel like I want to stick with that word, playing out, because there was some. Look, the first card I pulled was relationships. There are some things that are absolutely like being played out, and played out is like the best word. I feel like played is a very specific word. I'm very curious if specific cards are going to come out with this reading. keep shuffling, my friends. That card flew at the microphone. Let's see. I'm gonna pull a full reading for us today, my friends. So sit with me. Let's feel into this. What wants to come through for this reading? I knew this card was gonna come out. Right under. Okay. So, red string theory is something that has shown up in the past, and I feel like it is really relevant for this reading. Through this portal, in this time period in specific, whether you're watching this like months from now or whenever this finds you, this time period is very pivotal for a change in your relationships. You're being asked to be cautious. Let me get some more clarity because I want to really feel into the depth of this reading. So I'm pulling from a few different decks here. My go-tos that I just really vibe with. That fell right even again. Interesting. So it feels like there is a monitoring energy in your relationship dynamics. Somebody's really got their eye on you. Somebody might be really doing some research about you or just thinking that they know you, like, just through observation. And you are very intuitive, so you might have a sense of who or what this might be about. Anyways, this is somebody that I do feel like your angels, ancestors, your guides want you to be cautious about. You're not, I wouldn't be surprised if the specific phrase comes out with these clarifiers, but you're not crazy. You're not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay, honey? Like, you are very intuitive, and you've learned to trust that intuition. I feel like who I'm speaking to is somebody who is very intuitive, or at least very spiritually guided. And I think this has always come naturally to you, and I think this has always been your way of operating. It's not something you had to kind of like learn to do. You've got like a strong gut feeling, you know what's good for you, and sometimes that really doesn't make sense to other people. For this collective, I'm really feeling into a group of people who, I said this in the last reading, maybe you're somebody who's been listening along to my readings. If you have been, I appreciate you. But children who were dealing with things that revolved around abandonment were adopted by the universe. So, like, even though sometimes you were kind of fending for yourself, or you felt very alone or misunderstood, you had a very like strong connection and just a alignment with the universe. 333 might be significant. 67. 37. Ooh. Okay, so water signs have come out twice now. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And this is kind of wild. A lot of water showing up in this reading. We have the card water, we have the word clarifier card water, we have water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, the clarifiers, Pisces and Scorpio. Okay. In Cancer, yeah, lots of water sign energy here. Venus. I swear I'm gonna have like an actual message for you here. I'm like really putting all of these pieces together at the moment. Okay, yeah, for sure. So yeah, you're very intuitive. And Spirit is telling you to trust your intuition at this time, okay? Definitely be in trust with your intuition at this time. Even if people look at you crazy, even if, there's people trying to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, you are just stronger than that. Like, you really are. You've just been so solid with who you are and how you feel about things, how you sense into things. You are just awake with the universe all the time. And this is something that you've probably done over a long period of time, and maybe even since childhood. And it's really turned you into somebody who you're just you're just one of one. You're very unique. Some people have a hard time really pinning you down or condensing your multifacetedness into one thing. You're a lot, if I'm gonna just be honest, in the best way possible. There's so much to you. You have so much depth. You have so much to offer. You have gifts. These could be physical talents, but I think you have some really spiritual gifts. And it is essential that you follow your joy and connect to your bliss and follow your bliss. Not only is this your intuitive nudge from Spirit that you're doing things that are aligned with your soul's purpose, but more specifically, I think you are dealing with a very monitoring kind of spirit and outside energy. And look, I know I talk about this quite often. I swear, like, it sounds way sketchier than it actually is, especially for you, my friends, at this point, because you're somebody, and I'm feeling very divine feminine energy here. You are somebody who has had to deal with the fact that you have a big presence, you have a big aura, you attract attention, you have a magnetism to you. That's something that's just like the star quality to you. Yes, star here. And it's not something that you would ever even consider dimming down, not anymore, or at least in this point in your life, right? And because of this, you're going to face opposition. You're going to face people who, might have gained something from you dimming down, being upset when you stay in your power. You might just have this kind of familiarity with oppositional energy. And, it sounds conceited because it kind of is conceited. You've taken several seats in your life and had to sit through many difficult things in order to be able to stay in your embodied truth in opposition, in facing people who want to bring you down, want to speak negativity or evil over your name. And there are some things that were coming through for me even before I pulled all of these magnificent cards here. And I do feel like right now is the time to tell you that, like, you are triggering some people, okay? And this really has to do a lot with how successful you are in some way. It might have to do with people's energy or people's monitoring you. Maybe you have somebody who overlooks you or oversees you at work, or just it has something to do with your success and your achievement and your growth or progression forward. It is impacting it in some way. And not only that, but it gets kind of deep. It goes kind of deep into what's being affected. And I am going to do a follow-up reading kind of related to that once we get there. So let's just stick with kind of what I'm seeing right now. The idea of monitoring spirits is a sketchy thing to think about, and we could definitely catastrophize that or dramatize that. But we're not those people, honey, okay? Because it seems like actually those people are the thespians, okay? These are theatrical. I'm feeling even like theater people maybe, but just very theatrical. It's like over the top. It's melodrama, right? Okay, and whether you're dealing with them like face to face or they're just kind of in your atmosphere or in your orbit, it's kind of like it has the potentiality to be something that's a nuisance. And I do feel like something to do with a house or a home is significant. So this could be in your direct everyday life, if I'm being quite honest. And I wouldn't be surprised, like often, even though it really shouldn't be this way, and it's our I would say responsibility to have healthy boundaries and make smart choices so that we can protect our energy. But ultimately, this might be somebody who is in your day-to-day, your everyday space, and you have to just stay true to your bliss. You just have to stay true to your bliss. It feels like this energy of even here, like even now, it's like, bro, how many times am I gonna have to deal with this? It's like, when are people going to realize that they have all the power that they're looking for? Stolen power is like a drug. Okay, trying to bring people down, trying to put people down, trying to make someone feel smaller than they are, trying to cast, doubt or projection over people. This, like, keeping their eye on you, just, what, like, with the motives of maybe whispering into somebody's ear, or, it's just very, like, drama causing, like unstable, like it's just very unstable, like it's giving like jumpy, jittery, weak aura. And I don't mean that in a rude way, but like this is somebody whose aura is so depleted This is somebody who has completely given away like all sense of empowerment. And so what they do instead is they try to steal other people's power. This is somebody who tries to get that quick rush, and quite honestly, it might be even like a very neurochemical thing that's going on for this person. Mental health did come out in the cards, but I think we're gonna unpack that a little bit more in a second. This really feels like somebody who might genuinely get some kind of fixation, like a fix from the theatric, catastrophic, like over the top type energy. And of course, like, who wouldn't? It's like invigorating, and it's like, whoa, like, it's like a hit, right? Exactly. However, this is such a waste of your resources, such a waste of your good love and energy, because in all actuality, you're not empowering yourself. And that fixation of drama, of chaos, of starting shit, starting rumors, stirring the pot, whatever it is, it definitely seems like, this person is very lost and confused in the idea that this is going to empower them in some way. And it's just not. In fact, it does the complete opposite, because once that little rush or hit goes away, and quite frankly, you're just a bully, bro. But what happens when a bully grows up? You're an abuser, bro. So at the end of the day, yeah, this is somebody who's looking for a quick fix to like satiate their need to feel strong or feel powerful. I do feel like while this is somebody who's in your orbit, it's not somebody who's getting between you and anything. It's just not. It's just it has the ability to affect your joy and affect how much you grow if you let it. But I just don't see that happening. I see you addressing some father wounds that may have held you up in the past and working through those patterns and cycles. I'm seeing right next to it came out air sign. And I do see that you are expecting some really big and beautiful things for yourself and for your life. And what you expect to achieve for yourself is really important to you. And it brings you a lot of balance to be in a space of achievement and growth. But I also see that what you're expecting is a very committed partnership, right? Because we're talking about relationships here. And this 5-5 portal, it was a very much a shift in dynamics within relationships. And I think what you're expecting is commitment. I feel like soulmate, like just union, you know what I mean? Like that's what I feel like you're expecting. And it's safe to say that whatever this like monitoring energy is not getting in the way of that. I don't see any of the cards or indicators here that you can't expect those things from your life and from your future. I do think that it's really important to continue to follow your intuition and go on a healing journey with your father wounds. Yeah, okay, so this energy here that is showing up, I feel like really wants to plant seeds of doubt about all those things. Plant seeds of doubt about what you can achieve, what you can expect from your life, maybe about being, this is like harsh, but it could be even like what kind of parent you'll be, or more specifically like motherhood, things like that. And just like your union, or maybe like a committed relationship that you're in. I see cord cutting came out here next to it. We also have the evil eye around this, which just leads me to believe that you are really working to protect your energy here in this. And it's very crucial that you do so, right? Because I'm seeing here in the card intuition, the red flags you ignore will come back to bite you later. Okay, so whatever's being planted right here and right now through this 5-5 portal is a very much like seeds of change. Okay, seeds of change. That's the words that want to come through. You're being asked to let something go, to close the door on something, to move on from something, to surrender. Yeah, like it's a waste of time. It's over. So the cards here are very clear and very specific about like whatever this shit is, it's gotta flow. It's gotta go. It's gotta really be released and let go of so that you can find some more harmony and just be healthier in your life. It also will bring you a lot of good fortune. We're going to go into that in a second though, because there are some interesting cards that came out with that. But I do see wow, I pulled 11 for our reading. Like 11's been the number, and literally the card 11 came out. 11, seeing a lot of ones lately. Your choices are very much impactful right now. This really feels like your choices are going to really shift how much peace and how much joy, how much achievement, all of that is going to show up in your life, okay? Yeah, because I really feel like you have a lot of choices here on how you could handle this situation. But like there's only really one clear choice for you, and I think you know this, is that you just need to really follow your heart. You really need to stay true to who you are as a spiritual being. Like follow your heart and your soul, right? Follow your heart and your soul. You are on a soul-led path. And whatever is not in alignment with that is simply taking away from what you can achieve. Like, I'm just kind of, the way that I'm being like brought clarity around this message, it's like very clear. It's just like, it's not supposed to be a fearful thing. It's just, it is. That is what it is. You know this. So you're not somebody who's going to even waste time with that. You've seen karma in action. Maybe not with you firsthand, but you've seen it happen in other people's lives or in other instances. And that was enough for you to be like, I don't need that karma. I manifest and I attract and I achieve so many more beautiful things by just not doing people dirty. You know, but here's the thing, do no harm, take no shit, right? That's like one of my go-to, because a lot of people will mistake kindness for weakness. You know, it's giving like I gave you 1 to 3 many chances, you know? And all of those were opportunities for you to do the right thing, for you to be of moral high ground, to be the bigger person, to just not do the whatever this is, the whatever it is that they're doing, trying to manipulate, convince other people, stir the pot, like whatever this is, whatever is getting their rocks off, like quite frankly, I think it's really, like I said, a neurochemical thing more than anything. But they didn't, right? So you are very much now being asked by the divine to just stay in your joy, to have fun. And honestly, sometimes for some people, that's like the biggest pain point for them. Like, I'm not even going to say revenge, because that's not who you are. Revenge isn't in your nature. You just honestly don't give a fuck like that. You just don't. And so you actually will do a lot more, I think. It'll impact this person a lot more than you think it will, because your joy for some reason is triggering them. You being the multifaceted, talented, spiritual person that you are is triggering the fuck out of this person. And I'm just gonna be very clear on like what's coming through for me. This does feel like heart space energy. This feels like mental health energy. Yeah, somebody's got some mental health stuff going on. It needs to be addressed 1,000%. However, you know, it doesn't excuse boundaryless, toxic, traumatic, abusive behavior. Like, we know this, right? I think we can all agree on this. But the thing is, you're triggering somebody because you are embodying something that they did not think was possible, are definitely not possible for themselves. And this is because you are authentic to yourself, you're multifaceted, and you're not playing the part of a spiritual person. You are a spiritual person. Okay, I always come back to this ideology of like the divine didn't create people to act spiritual. The divine created spiritual people. Okay, and yeah, I just, like I said before, it might be hard for people to kind of pinpoint you down to a T because that would be an injustice to who you are if someone tried to do that anyway. You're so many things. And that defies expectation sometimes. And I want you to just sort of think about it as, you know, let me just like start by saying this, like whoever this is really made something like their identity or like their core. They've really attached a lot of ego and identity to this, and you being who you are for whatever reason is triggering this for them. And I think because of that, masks might slip off, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to live as one specific thing, it's just going to eventually impact you in a negative way. And I don't think you're this way. I think whoever is in your orbit is dealing with life this way, where they want to just be this one specific thing. And honestly, this might just be a mental health thing. They just want so badly to not be someone who deals with this, you know? And so they're doing everything in their power to claim a specific identity or attach their ego to like an identity, and the mask might be slipping the more that you just don't even give mind to it, energy to it. You really just have whatever was going on with your stuff and your father wounds, baby, that ship has run its course, okay? I'm getting the sense that you are collective who's been listening along for a while, or if you haven't been and you want to go back to some of my older videos and just kind of get some insights on like your journey thus far, work that you could be doing to kind of move through some of your blocks, like go for it. But we as a collective did a lot of father healing. This in the last, like, I want to say since last June or so, it was bringing up a lot of father wound stuff, a lot of ideas around divine masculinity, karmic masculines, and it was like a lot of masculine energy healing. And I do feel like we're moving into a space of the mother wound stuff and feminine healing and feminine wounding and all of that. And I do feel like this is very on track for the cycles you've seen in your life that you're bringing to a close. And here's the thing, even though this is showing up and I see it in the cards here, even now, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Even again with this, you know, even here, even now, it's ending. Things are playing out differently than they have for you in the past. You're moving differently. You're moving with more integrity. You're moving with more grace. You're moving with, a divinely led course of action. And so while other people might be spiraling or spinning out or whatever it is, you have the ability to just kind of remember, okay, wait a second. I'm going to come back to my bliss because for whatever reason, my joy is a problem for this person. And that's like, who does that? You know what I mean? So let that go. Protect your energy from all of that. Move with intention and intuition, okay? But here's what I want you to kind of consider is that sometimes people's projections has been your protection. And maybe you know this about yourself already, but like you're somebody who, because people can't exactly pinpoint you or figure out who you are to a T or what it is like that makes you so magnetic or like how, whatever, because they are so focused on disempowering other people because they feel so disempowered, like they truly can't fathom it. They're going to project all kinds of things onto you. And you're the kind of person who's going to be like, okay, sure. Like that's your projection. I'm in my truth. I know who I am. I know what I do. I know what I've been on. You know what I mean? And, yeah, you're somebody who also has had this awareness of like, that's just something that's going to happen. Like if you become more and more successful and achieve more and more things, there's going to be people who want what you have. Very simple, plain and simple as that. And in this instance, I think it has a lot to do with relationships. So somebody might like really try to tear you down in that regard because they want what you have in your connections, in your relationship, and I think more specifically in your partnership. I don't know if anyone's like trying to come for your manses or anything like that. Like, let's not get carried away. But they want to embody what you embody in your relationships. They want to stifle you or stifle you. Stifle? No. Stifle you and siphon you is where I was going with that. And put you down because they feel like they're probably somebody who's stuck in this very lack matrix, lack space mentality. And they feel like if you have it, then they can't have it. If somebody else is winning, what am I supposed to do? I don't know, girl, win too, probably. But they don't see that. And I see this here in the good luck and fortune that I was telling you about earlier. Okay, but these people's projections can also be a form of protection because they're going to think whatever the fuck they're going to think about you, no matter what. Every single person on this earth has a version of you inside their head that you'll never know and you'll probably never be. But you are somebody who's so in their power that you don't have to justify your power. Like you're so in your truth that other people's versions of you or stories about you or whatever really just has no effect. But it's just like, that's your reality. That's just not mine. You know what I mean? It's just like, it doesn't affect you. You've accepted and loved and forgiven yourself for so many things. And in order for you to continue growing on your journey here and having achievement, you need to continue doing that. And this person is not the person who's going to get in the way of that. They're just not. Because truthfully, yeah, they're thespians, honey. They're thespians, and you're not an actor. They are somebody who feels like the bigger their emotions, the bigger their reactions, the bigger their accusations, the more powerful it makes them, or the more true it becomes, or whatever the fuck it is, but like they just look ridiculous when that energy is not being reciprocated. They just become this puff of fluff. It's nothing. It's all farce because they're not coming from a truly empowered place. Empowered people don't have to react with intensity, dramatization. You know, empowered people get shit done. I don't know how else to explain it, you know, and I just feel like right now you're not an actor, you've never been an actor, and somebody also really doesn't like that you didn't quote unquote act spiritual, but you is, okay? Like, you did not necessarily act like a hippy-dippy, spiritual, mystical, psychic bitch, but you is, okay? And that's something that is triggering people because they are very stuck in their ego wounds of what they think they're supposed to be and how other people are supposed to be. And you're moving outside of that. And they don't know what to do with that, okay? You're not playing the part in someone's story that they're writing about you, and they don't fucking like it, okay? So remember that you are this very big aura. You are divinely led. You are mystical, okay? You have always just been in tune with your intuition and that little like glimmer in life that makes you think like, hang on a second. All of this here is divine. You're in tune with that. So because of that, let's see. You are just somebody that people can't like really disempower the way that they want to. Good. You know what I mean? But just be wary that people might start to really have a hard time with that. But you have to just stay true to yourself. Stay true to your path that you've been on. Stay true to your journey. Follow your bliss. And here's the thing. You're going to have a lot of good luck and good favor in this. I'm feeling like this 1111 wishes, whimsical, prosperous, abundant reality for yourself, right? We're talking about all these expectations that you have for yourself, for your union. And I see that you want to, not even want to, but I see just a very abundant, you know, relationship with your money. And what that means is, honey, is that you have a very abundant relationship with a divine feminine in your life. Okay, whether this is with yourself or this is with your twin flame, your soulmate, your person, whoever it is, when you are flourishing with that person, your pockets get bigger, okay? These are the laws of the universe. Money is flow. It is currency. It moves at the same kind of frequencies and vibration of that of which is divine feminine energy. So you got to be in union with your divine feminine energy. This could be for yourself, like I said, but this whole reading here and this 5-5 portal that we went through has a lot to do with relationship. Okay, so notice what you're struggling with when it comes to addictions, gambling, bad finances, right? These are all things that are going to impact our coinage, and most of the time these are things that our vices are used to dull our senses. What's our senses, honey? Our feminine energy. Okay, so the more we dull those senses within us, our feminine energy, we're kind of pulling ourselves out of that beautiful, receiving, abundant, present, fruitful, prosperous energy. But that doesn't have to be so. Here's how. Open your heart and protect your energy. That is it. That's the tea. Let's just keep it at that. Open your heart and protect your energy. Two things can be true. Two things can be fucking true. And in this case, it absolutely is. You have something really beautiful within your heart space. this is love for all people, but you probably are somebody who has a person in your life that you see as your person, okay? And this kind of love, this kind of joy, this kind of relationship, it is prosperous and it is beautiful. And I just want to keep it real. Like, you are showing up as a divine feminine in your relationship, or you're showing up with more feminine energy in your relationship by connection through intuition or whatever. Could be listening for your divine feminine, however this is showing up for you, okay? You are doing it. You're doing it, okay? And that's why this stuff was activated, to show us what needed to change, to show us where to let go of things, to move on, to surrender, to notice what mental health things are showing up, to notice what needs to be surrendered and let go of for more harmony, for health, for your mental health, right? And this is like all really important for that like beautiful kind of love bubble that surrounds you and your person when you're able to do this. When you're clearing up your stuff and you're in a union, like a divine union, this is going to clear up things in your love bubble and what you share with that person and the energy that you have with this person. And I want to get into this maybe in another reading, but like, if you're somebody who identifies with being in a divine union, whether you call it a divine union or a twin flame or holy matrimony or whatever, like however you want to call it, you are meant to be on this earth incarnated with this soul. Like, that was part of your purpose, was to incarnate with this soul, come together, share that energy, open up your heart space, have a love bubble, become like one, a union. That's what it means, friends. And you have together the kind of energy and gifts that can heal and transform the planet. 111 on the clock as I'm saying this. So very specifically, protect your energy around your union. Truly, I'm seeing like it has a lot to do with what you can expect from your future. This could be even family, lineage, and all of that. I think it's very important for you to have very clear boundaries, okay? Really protect your energy, and focus protecting the energy of your relationship. Focus on protecting the energy in your partnership, in your union. And this doesn't have to be like crazy fucking like I don't know, like it doesn't have to be over the top, okay? Like, that's not us in this situation, you know what I mean? Like, this is very grounded, this is very stable, this is very secure, this is having fun and finding that bliss and that joy, that growth and that achievement, that balance and union and connection and flow and intuitive, connection and nudges. That's what you're protecting. That's what you're opening yourself up to in your relationship when you protect and preserve the energy of your relationship. Okay, with your union, your flame, whatever you want to call it, soulmate. I feel like this is giving more than soulmate, and I do want to go into that more in a further reading. So for now, let's wrap this up with a few more clarifiers. Okay, I do see that a cord cutting is crucial, essential. Do what you gotta do to clear those cords, honey. This is something you can do visually. You can definitely look up cord cutting like practices. Something is about to be frozen. Like, the energy around this situation or whoever this person was or whatever the fuck is about to be frozen. You got to give yourself a lot of self-love. I see a lot of harmony coming to you. I see a lot of recovery coming your way again. I see compromising, forgiveness, working things out. I think specifically around the new moon is going to be a very prominent time for all of this to come through and come forward. I do see a party might be significant. Ooh, fun. But I do feel like this is going to have like a lot of love energy around it. This could be a party you go to with your person, or maybe you're going to meet somebody at a party if you're not already booed up and you're in your divine feminine. Or you're listening to figure out how you can connect with your divine feminine. Go party, baby. Your divine counterpart is having a good time, right? They're living their best life. They're living their truth. They're growing and achieving and joyful at the same rate that you are. Okay, so ask and you shall receive. Okay, ask for help. I feel like this is a time when you have to have conversations about like how to do something and grow together. And you might have to make compromises. You might have to forgive things that you didn't think that you'd forgive in the past. And you're being asked to work things out with this person. And let me tell you, I really feel like I need to do a whole nother reading about this, because this is the way that you're showing up. This is what is triggering other people. And that's like, what are you supposed to do? Stop being the best version of yourself just so other people don't get triggered? No, fuck that. Ruffle those feathers, baby. So pray on this. Pray on this, okay? Talk to the divine about this. 111 is showing up again. Tell the universe exactly what you want. Speak to the divine. Speak to source. Speak to your higher power. And really pray on this, okay? Because this is something, ask for help, right? Ask and you shall receive. Angels, it's all right here. It's worth the risk, okay? Interesting. I just feel like worth is the importance here. Like, you're trying to stop gambling with your energy. You're trying to stop gambling with your time. You're trying to stop gambling with how things can show up or go in your relationship. Like, this is your boo. Like, this is, you're good. You don't want to deal with addictions, gambling, bad finances, like things being brought up by your own wounding. You want to be able to just focus on opening up your heart, having fun, being joyful. And if those are real things that are going on in your relationship, that's real life. That's heavy. And I'm sending you lots of love and healing. If that is your experience. But sometimes the best healing you can have is just having a good time, is just having fun, doing things you love to do, doing things that really help you to relax and open up a heart space. And if you're struggling with heart space healing, I do have a few things on my YouTube channel, but you can always look up like how to work on heart center healing, and you will find so much information. And it's a really beautiful self-love and self-worth journey that I think everybody should take. With that being said, a few songs came up, okay, and I have I'll Be Seeing You and I Can Go the Distance. I also feel like you baddies who are here for this reading need to be listening to Meg Thee Stallion. It's giving, if I wasn't at the top, they wouldn't be coming for my spot, right? So I am going to do another follow-up reading going a little bit more into the twin flamey energy that's showing up at the current present, okay? Because I really think it's time we talk about that. If you've been on this journey with me, collective, that was something we were calling in, and we need to reapproach that conversation, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to leave it at this. I'm sending you all my lovin', and I'll talk to you soon.